What's up YouTube, Ash from Awesome Tech HD, back with another video. And pretty much all of you want to have the best smartphone under 10k, and I'm here to tell you that, and let's get what you need, shall we? Alright guys, at number 5 we got the Moto G 2nd generation. Now this smartphone was released in the month of September 2014, yet its reduction in price tag and the features it offers has earned a place in this list. The Moto G rocks a 5-inch 720p IPS display. On the camera wise, it rocks a 8-megapixel camera with 720p video recording, and on the RAM wise, it has 1GB of RAM running a Snapdragon 400 processor, and the battery wise, it is running a 2070 mAh battery. On the looks of the Moto G, it weighs only around 149 grams and 11 mm of thickness, and has 8GB of storage and a micro SD card slot to expand your needs. And it is the only phone in this list which runs the stock Android OS, which gives you the latest version of Android as well as you get the update. So definitely is a good phone for the choice. Now this is an overview of the spec of the phone, which you guys could pause it up and have a look at. Alright guys, we got the Asus Zenfone 5. Now this phone was released on early this year, around January, and this phone weighs around 145 grams and 10.3mm thickness, and has various personalizable stuff to make your phone look cool as well. And this phone has a brilliant Corning Gorilla Glass 3 running over it for your protection, and has a 5 inches of brilliant HD IPS display. Now this phone on the inside is rocking a 2GB of RAM running an Intel Z2520 processor, so definitely 4 times the speed of a normal processor. And the Asus Zenfone 5 also has Glove Touch and good sensitivity features. It has dual SIM capabilities, and as well as on the camera side, the Asus rocks an 8-megapixel Pixelmaster camera and has different modes for your enjoyable stuff. On the battery side, the Asus Zenfone 5 has a 2110 mAh battery, which is 2110 mAh of battery. And on the internal side of the Asus, we got an 8GB of internal storage with an expandable micro SD card slot. Now Android OS running on the Asus is the version 4.3, which is Jelly Bean, but the Asus confirms it's going to have an update to Lollipop. Now I'll give you an overview of what the Asus Zenfone 5 pretty much has to give us. Alright guys, at number 3 we got an awesome phone from Lenovo. This is the Lenovo A7000. The Lenovo A7000 is a pretty huge phone rocking a 5.5 inches wide view HD display. Now this phone is powerful on the inside as well, and has an octa-core processor. One of the great features of the phone include the addition of the Dolby Atmos speakers, and in terms of the camera, it has an 8-megapixel rear plus a 5-megapixel front shooter, and not to mention this phone rocks an 2900 mAh 2GB of RAM running MediaTek MT6752M. Now this phone has 8GB of ROM as well, which would run you around 4GB, and it also has an expandable memory card slot for your necessities. And this phone weighs around 140 grams and is at 8mm of thickness, so it's a pretty decent phone as well, and looks. Now on the OS side, this phone is running the latest version of Android, version the Lollipop 5.0. So there is a guaranteed update as soon as an update releases for the Lenovo A7000. And this gentleman is the Lenovo A7000. Alright guys, running down to number 2, we got a spectacular phone for the price. And this is, gentlemen, the Honor 4X. This phone has a 64-bit octa-core processor, and the largest battery in this list, it has a 3000 mAh battery, which is great for everyday use. And this phone is rocking 4G dual SIM, so definitely is useful. On look wise, it weighs on 165 grams, running 8.7 millimeters in thickness, and has dual 4G SIMs, as I had mentioned earlier. Now this phone rocks a 5.5-inch HD IPS screen, but you're missing that Gorilla Glass, which you get to find on the Asus Zenfone 5. And the camera wise, we got the 13 megapixel plus 5 megapixel shooter, which is a great addition. And this, gentleman, is the Honor 4X. And not to mention, this phone rocks a 2GB of RAM, running 8GB of ROM, which will run you around 4GB after system requirements. It also has a expandable micro SD card slot. On the OS side, this phone is running Android version 4.4, which is KitKat, and promisingly upgradable to Lollipop, as Huawei has said us. So definitely, gentlemen, one of the great phones for the price. Alright guys, running to the number 1, the best smartphone under 10K is undoubtedly gonna be the Canvas Nitro 2, which is redesigned after the Nitro, re-engineered and loaded with a ton of features. Now the Nitro 2 rocks a powerful octa-core processor, around 1.4 GHz, and has 2GB of DDR3 RAM, running an MTK 6592 chipset. In terms of the screen, we have a 12.7 centimeters, or rather say 5-inch of HD IPS screen, and has the best feature is it has the Corning Gorilla Glass 3 for extra protection. For your mesmerizing photos, it has 13 megapixel shooter with an autofocus and flash. It has a Logan 5P lens with Sony IMX130 CMOS sensor, and has a 5 megapixel selfie camera as well for your style. Now the camera has a one part of the feature, but the other part is the styling of the phone, which is one of the best and only reason why it stands for the powerful phone in this modern day. The Micromax is very slim, weighing around 7.5 millimeters. It also has an Android KitKat OS running into it over a Micromax UI. It also has tons of smart gestures for you to make your life easy. And yes guys, this is the Micromax Canvas Nitro 2, and I'll give you an overview of the spec of the Canvas Nitro. And not to mention, this phone has an internal 16GB of storage, which will run you around 8GB, and has 2400 mAh batteries with an expandable SD card slot. So and has a brilliant curve to it, and is definitely one of the best phones out there. That is the reason why it stands on the top and the best smartphone under 10K. At the price point at exactly around 10,000 bucks, you can definitely put your money on. Alright guys, at the price tag point of view, all the phones are at 10K, with an exception of the Lenovo A7000, which is 1K down. Now the real battle is between the Huawei Honor 4X and the Micromax Canvas Nitro 2. If you want to gain the Huawei Honor 4X, you gotta give up the Gorilla Glass 3 and the sleek design of the Micromax Canvas Nitro. If you want to gain the Nitro, you gotta give up the 5.5 inches of HD screen. But over the end, it depends on you guys. Get to look at these phones in person, and I would definitely assure you each and every phone in this list is worth every penny of your money. And don't mind to give a thumbs up because it helps our channel a lot, which is in development stage. And I will catch you on the next video, which I'm gonna make the best smartphones under 20k. And I'll catch you on the next one, bros. Peace.